Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Hello and thank you for joining me today. So jumping straight into the first prompt, we're going to be priming the page for paint if needed. So because I'm working in a recycled book, I'm going to be priming the page and trying to cover up that in the background. If you don't feel the need to prime your page, don't worry, you don't need to. I just want to do that because I'm a recycled book and I like to have the extra porosity. So prompt number 2 is to use a brayer or roller to apply paint to the background, and I've chosen these 3 colours. So I've got purple that I'm going to be mixing with a white colour just to make it a little bit lighter, and then I'm using the blue that you can see that I'm putting down here, and I'm going to be using black as well. So to begin with, I'm starting by using a paint roller, so it's a sponge on a roller and I am just spreading that over the background, but unfortunately it's not the texture that I wanted, so I thought I'd go with the brayer instead. Now I have this mini one, but unfortunately it wasn't working properly, so I'm gonna have to keep moving through my stock see what else I have available, and I found this larger roller, brayer, whatever you want to call it, and so I'm going over the page with that instead. So once I've added all 3 colours, I'll just keep going until I'm happy with how the background looks, and then we'll move on to the next prompt. If you don't have a roller or something to use, then just find something that you can use instead. So prompt number 3 is to add a metallic medium to the page in any colour. So I've chosen to use gilding polish from Cosmic Shimmer, and I'm just using the Silver Dream one, and I decided to do some swirly patterns. I'm not sure why that came into my head, but I thought it kind of looked like a night sky almost with the colours that I've chosen to use, so I thought it would look nice with those silver swirls. So I'll put those and fill the background with those. You don't have to do that. If you wanted, you could just maybe do a border, or you could add it however you wish. Don't feel like you need to do what I'm doing. So the prompt number 4 is to add metallic modelling paste through a stencil, same colour as step 3 if possible. Now if you did use the Cosmic Shimmer gilding polish like I did, I do often use that as modelling paste, but I do have this collection that I haven't used very often, and it has a silver and a gold in there actually, so I decided to use a silver from there, and with the texture in the background of the brayer, it's pulled up the paint so that it's got that little bit of texture to it, so the stenciling is quite difficult to do with modelling paste. As you can see, some of the stars are moulding into the background, but that's okay, I'm happy with the result. And if you feel like you wanted to use Cosmic Shimmer as modelling paste, you can just do it with your finger if you wanted just the design. So do whatever you feel is best for your page. So prompt number 5 is to stamp or doodle mystical or magical images across the background. So I'm just going to go in with my black archival ink, and I am using those fairy stamps that I showed you, just because I thought with the theme it looks quite good with those flying over the background. So I'm going to use each and every one of those fairy stamps and just get them stamped over the background. I do 2 of each stamp, so you can add any kind of mystical creature that you want to, whatever you have available to you. So step number 6, or prompt number 6, is to choose a mystical or magical focal image and add it to the page. So you can see here I have a napkin that I'm using, and I'm just going to trim one of the 4 images and pull away any of that additional tissue that's not needed. And then I'm going to just add some gesso behind the image just to make sure that we can see it a bit better. So I'm using a wet paintbrush just to go around the image so it's not quite as square, and hopefully that will help it blend into the background a bit more. So I'm going around with a wet paintbrush and then pulling away any of that napkin that I don't want, and it comes away quite easily. So with the white gesso, I'm just going to water it down a bit and then paint it over the page, just where the image is going to go, and then I will get that stuck down with some Mod Podge when I'm happy with the background. if you have something different, if it's not a napkin, you could stick any image down that you want. You could get a picture from a magazine, draw something, whatever goes best with your page, whatever you have available to you. And once I've got that stuck down, I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge over the top as well, just to make sure that it doesn't come away. So once that step's done, we'll move on to the next prompt, which is prompt number 7. Add a quote from a Shakespeare as your title. So I've got this blue paper that I've chosen, and I've managed to find a silver metallic pen. And so I'm just writing down the quote that I've chosen, which is from Midsummer Night's Dream, because it's quite mystical, magical, one of his series. So you could pick something that is a quote from him directly, or you can do something like I've done and use one of the lines from his play. And I am just cutting around that randomly, so it's got an interesting pattern around the edge. I'm not following any guidelines. So once I've got that cut out, I'm just going to add some silver edging around the border so that it stands out a bit more. And then I'll get that stuck down on the page simply with some PVA glue or school glue if you like. So once you're happy with your title, we can move on to prompt number 8, which is to add sparkles to your focal image and the images from step 5. So that's whatever we stamped into the background, or whichever images you added to the background. So I'm using some stickles or glitter glue type things, and I'm just going to give the fairies in the background some glitter on their wings, and I put some glitter on the moon on the focal image, and I will put some in her hair and on the ship's base or her body as well. You don't have to add glitter glue, you could add normal glitter if you wanted, or you can add some gems around the place, whatever you think goes best with your page. So the next prompt is prompt number 9, which is to add white to the page to brighten things up. So I decide with white gel pen I'm going to go in and just add some dots here and there to make it look more like a night sky. Simply just adding dots around the page, there's not really much more to tell you about that. But you don't have to add the white like I have. If you wanted to add a bit of gesso maybe and blend that into the page just to liven it up, or you can add some details to your focal image or the images you've stamped into the background, or you could outline the sections of your modelling paste that's down, whatever you think goes best with your page. So the 10th and final prompt is to add a 3D or textured border to finish. I've chosen to go with enamel dots, and I am going to add a border with those just dotting it around the edges because I thought that went quite well with the page. And I'm doing that in white as well. So that's the end of the page, that's all finished. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you take part in the prompts, please do tag me on Instagram with the hashtag #SparklePrompts. And I hope to see you next time, where we'll turn your creative spark into a creative sparkle. Thanks. Bye.